My sister's room was right next to mine, but to enter hers, you had to pass through mine first. Our beds were placed so that only a thin wall separated them. We had this little habit. We'd knock on the wall. 3 knocks meant sweet dreams or something like that. At the time, my sister was 22 and I was 16. One night, something happened that I still can't forget. It was a Saturday evening. Amanda had gone out with her friends, while I stayed home to study for my exams, which were taking up my entire weekend. By 10 p.m., the house was quiet, and my parents were already asleep, as they usually went to bed early due to their early work schedules. The silence was calming. A dim light filled my room as I lay in bed reading. I got up for a glass of water, returned to my book, and then suddenly heard a strange noise from my sister's room. I figured she had come back quietly and slipped into her room without making a fuss, so I didn't think much of it, and continued reading. Then, I heard 3 knocks on the wall. I knocked back 3 times, our usual signal. A moment later, it happened again, and I responded once more. This back and forth continued, but I eventually stopped paying attention, thinking Amanda must be in a really good mood after a fun night out. Suddenly, the knocks became louder, almost as if multiple people were banging on the wall at once. Startled, I jumped up, feeling both annoyed and confused, and stormed into her room. We lived on the first floor, and the street lamp outside always cast a faint light into her room. As I opened the door, I saw Amanda hiding under her blanket. "Are you crazy? Why are you banging on the wall?" I asked. She didn't respond. She just giggled softly. Irritated, I left the room and returned to bed. A few minutes later, I heard the front door open. I listened as footsteps approached, and someone placed keys on the table. Amanda walked into my room, greeted me, and headed to her room. I greeted her back, and then it hit me. Amanda had just come home. But if that was the case, who had been knocking on the wall earlier? Panicked, I rushed to her room, opened the door, and saw her standing still, staring at the bed. I looked over and saw that the entire room was smeared with dirty footprints. The footprints looked human, but they were oddly long and thin. Amanda always left her window slightly open, but now it was completely wide open. The window, the windowsill, and even the clothes rack were covered in mud. We were both frozen in shock and fear. Moments later, we woke up our parents and told them everything. They were just as terrified as we were. That night, Amanda slept in my room. The next morning, as we were cleaning up her room, we decided to inspect the building. Our apartment was part of a tall, white brick building. To our horror, we discovered that the same dirty footprints covered the outside of the building. They were near the windows of our neighbors' apartments, too. It seemed like this thing had only found one open window, Amanda's. But one thing still haunts us to this day. How did it know about our knocking habit? Had it been watching us, waiting for the perfect moment to slip inside?